I'll take Nony.
You're gonna take Nony?
I'll take Nony.
Ooh, look at you, Ben.
Listen, I know that I'm way ahead of you in the predictions, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna give you an opportunity to close some of that space.
I was actually gonna talk about this, guys, because for some reason, like someone has been messing around with the database over here, and apparently MrBitter corrected 6 or 7 best of 3s more correct than me. Well, which obviously is absolutely impossible. I mean, I'm pretty sure that besides one day, I've finished higher than Ben every single day in the entire season.
Hey man,
and somehow he's like +7. This is just not.
You're welcome to go back and count yourself, but
I will
72%, Kev. You're barely pushing 50%.
Yeah, so basically you're having my ladder record and I'm having yours. Oh, snap!
That one does hurt. That one does sting a little bit. But lately that doesn't hold true. I've been playing. My MMR has tanked so much that I'm beating all the noobs.
Okay, guys, welcome to our first game of today. Liquid Nony is, of course, our blue Protoss spawning in the right top side of this map. And EG's very own, the handsome Devil Terran DeMusliM is our red Terran spawning in the right bottom side. Did I say Nony spawns at the bottom side too? Of course, I mean at the right top side of the map. Not sure if I said it or not.
I don't know what you said.
You don't listen to me?
No, I do, but then you question it. That makes me question, so you might have gotten it right. You might have gotten it wrong.
I actually watched the DeMusliM stream a little bit yesterday just to see how he's doing against Protoss, and I saw him play this one game on Total Altar against Urk, one of the best players in the UK. I'm sure that he's very unknown for most people in the US because he's a player that doesn't really stream, never really participates in tournaments, but he's a very good random player. Like both his Zerg and his Protoss are very good. He's a Grandmaster League. European ladder player, and he actually beat the DeMusliM on Total Altar. I was watching that game, and for a certain phase I felt that the DeMusliM was winning it. We can see the DeMusliM going with the no gas fast expand build, by the way, but that's almost not worth mentioning because the DeMusliM always does, not always, but 9 out of 10 times you will see the DeMusliM open like this. He likes his opening. It's a very safe opening against pretty much everything. But I was surprised by the way that game played out. The DeMusliM went for a very big standard bio push with quite some Vikings as well to deal with the Colossus, but he kind of ignored the upgrades. Like he kind of ignored the engineering base, and even though he was already putting up his 3rd command center, he still didn't start upgrading.
Huh. That's a big mistake when you play against good Protoss players because the fast upgrades are so prevalent. I'm
not even sure if it was a mistake or maybe I missed one upgrade, because when you watch the player stream it's not as easy to follow as sometimes you might miss something as when a caster is telling you everything 3 times. But I felt that he didn't start upgrading before that first attack, and I kind of felt like it was on purpose, that he just wanted to muster out as many units as possible to try to deal with that certain phase of the game where the Protoss army is not that strong yet because they are investing a lot into economy and infrastructure.
Nony has already got some proxy pylons down, Kev. I wonder if he's planning on some massive gateway aggression. It is worth noting that these guys were supposed to play last week, but because Nony was in the midst of his move to San Francisco, and because he gave us so much advance notice, we allowed these guys to reschedule the game. They played yesterday, and we're broadcasting it via replay today.
What I'm feeling right now, Ben, is maybe a Twilight Council soon from Nony, and 4-gate Blink Stalkers, even though he has an... No, actually it's most likely going to expand unless he really wants to trick the DeMusliM right now. The DeMusliM tried to scout with the SCV, did not see the Nexus yet. Now the Nexus is going down. So Nony has a very interesting and weird opening over here. What I can only imagine, man, is a little bit of gateway pressure from Nony.
Yeah, he's going to have to do something because, Kev, if he just sits back, he's going to be so far behind. He went 2 gates.
I know, double gas.
Yeah, 2 gates, double gas, Cybercore, all of that before getting his Nexus down. And that's going to mean economically he is so much worse off than DeMusliM, who just went straight up to that 2nd command center and is now starting to get those bio upgrades. And DeMusliM even building a 2nd bunker early. So
yeah, I can't blame him. I mean, if I wouldn't spot a Nexus around this time, I'm definitely going to put up a 2nd bunker, Ben. Hell, I make 3 bunkers. I make a splitty bow wall. I land my factory. I do everything, Ben. I build a guy in a missile turret.
Oh man, that's the best guy in the game, except for the Reaper. Yeah, of course, all those decisions make sense, and I would not think any less of DeMusliM if he did throw up another bunker, just because Nony's opening does say, hey, I want to be aggressive. Now, DeMusliM did just scan, and he sees that in the natural of Nony there's a Nexus, there's a couple of units, and there doesn't appear to be any aggression, so he's not going to be adding any more static defensive structures like that just yet.
But everything you just mentioned, Ben, is already now being displayed in the income tab, and we see the DeMusliM almost being even in work as compared to Nony, and that's just a dream scenario for Terran. Now they are actually even. Of course, the DeMusliM was producing SCVs from double orbital all this time. And he's a little bit supply blocked right now. Ooh, actually a pretty big one. Very uncharacteristic. It's not something that you see the DeMusliM do very often, man.
Yeah, it's
like 20-second supply block.
Really, really uncommon. 3 depots finishing up as he gets that starport down. He is keeping his money low, so at least it's not causing a big spike up in his income. Wow, he's going to go up to even adding more depots. He's going to have such a supply cushion. This is like a Stefano supply block. Stefano gets blocked and builds like 12 overlords.
And then he never gets supply blocks again, and everybody's like, wow, Stefano, clean macro. Stefano's like, Zik, nice race. And you can see the DeMusliM actually building those supply depots in front of the bunkers. I mean, why not? You need those supply depots anyway. And this can actually really save you against any sort of big gateway pressure. Maybe even a 4 or 5 or 6 gate. Why not, man? You need those depots. They can help out a ton. If you don't need them anymore, you just lower them. Yeah,
absolutely. Nony looks like he just wants to play a standard macro game off of this not super economical opening. But he is getting the Robo Bay. He's got a forwards down, and he's continuing to just sit back and produce probes, hitting a small supply block of his own, but other than that, his worker production has been completely unimpeded.
Now, obviously, it's not a really big deal, because right now we see that Nony is 5 workers ahead, but normally, even a 1 gate, 1 gas expand against a no gas fast expand, it's already a little bit better for Terran, just economically, not game-wise, because you're still going to have a very interesting and open game. But this really puts Terran a little bit ahead, economy-wise. And now I kind of wonder, Nony, what do you get out of this, besides being much more safe against some sort of early funky aggression?
Yeah, it's hard to say, as DeMusliM is starting to push with his first couple of medevacs. Nony drops a couple force fields, doesn't trap anything, though. When the Colossus pops, he'll be better equipped to deal with this, but until then, this is a scary little push.
Definitely. Ooh, Nony picking up one medevac over there from DeMusliM. Perhaps a little bit sloppy, but he has to be careful. He can't really fight this thin by army yet, not without that Colossus. Certainly not from the high ground where Zealots, of course, are going to be useless.
Yep, that Colossus is spawning right now, so that should spell the end of this push. If DeMusliM sticks around too much longer, he could get himself in some trouble.
Yeah, definitely. He should be careful as well, because he only has 1 medevac right now. So that means, oh, he's going to pick up sentries. Already picked up 2 sentries.
Yeah, not a bad job, but more good force fields going down by... oh, got a nice pickup there. Gets a lot of those bio units out of there, so that does spell the end of that aggression.
Yep, beautiful pickup indeed by DeMusliM. And now he's going to pick up that remaining Zealot as well. Nony's going to try to deal with that factory. Well, let's take a look at the unit's last resource step, man. We can see that Nony clearly lost a lot more over there, and that's just because DeMusliM was able to pick up those sentries. I was a little bit worried by DeMusliM because he lost one of those 2 medevacs, and then it's very hard. If good force fields go down, it's going to be very hard to make those nice pickups. But hey, he got away with it with only 1 medevac, so props to DeMusliM, man.
Yeah, it all went very well for DeMusliM. He was able to do some damage, see what Nony's up to, and then back off and start his own transitioning. He's producing Vikings 2 at a time, so these Colossus numbers are not going to be as scary. Next time we have a fight, I would wager DeMuslim's going to have maybe 12 Vikings out.
12 Vikings is a lot of Vikings, but that's definitely possible. What would you rather have, man? 12 Vikings or 8 Vikings, but all of them are driven by Tom Cruise or flown?
Man, I wouldn't hire Tom Cruise. He's dangerous.
By the Iceman, then? Would you rather have the Iceman and Tom Cruise or 4 normal Vikings?
I would take the Iceman.
Yeah, me too. They would be so much better. They're basically Vikings who start with +6 upgrades. See,
it's like a hero Viking. It's like the Jim Raynor unit in StarCraft.
We have 2 Colossus right now on the field. Third Colossus is almost out for Nony. I don't know, man. I'm not sure how I feel about everything. I mean, Nony's doing pretty decent on the upgrades. Sorry that I didn't mention that yet, guys. But the second armor upgrade is almost ready. But he's been on 1 forge for a very long time. So that means that he's not starting attack upgrades, which I think is a little bit strange. For Colossus, attack upgrades are pretty damn important.
He is getting a Templar Archives. That's finishing up right now. And he's also getting a 3rd base. And this is well ahead of DeMuslim's 3rd. So if Nony can stay alive until that 3rd starts to produce, I think he's going to be in an okay position, Kev. But we can see DeMusliM moving out now.
Yeah, DeMusliM once more with a pretty late 3rd. He's going to drop it right now exactly when he moves out. This is exactly how he played yesterday against Urk. There is no Storm yet. That's going to be nice for DeMusliM. But Charge is going to be ready. And if we take a look at the unit counter tab, we can see that DeMusliM is very Marauder heavy. So I mean, DeMusliM can actually take out Nony right now if he micros perfectly, but it's not going to be easy.
Feedbacks. They're just going to die. They try to feedback some medevacs. They do get they take out all the energy. Colossi are going to come forward, but there's nothing really to deal with these Vikings, and it looks like this fight's going incredibly well for DeMusliM.
Yeah, as soon as those force fields expire, I think that Nony's going to be in a lot of trouble. Nice starter step right there by DeMusliM, getting all units in range to fire, and Nony, GG's. DeMusliM takes the first map very convincingly.
Game just kind of ended. DeMusliM just pushed out and won. Nony, I don't know, Kev. I just don't like his opening.
Yeah.
You really put him behind from the very beginning. And
I like the idea of maybe like man, what am I trying to say, Ben? Of
I don't know.
feedbacking those medevacts straight away, so that if the Muslim stims once and you drop the defensive force fields, if he then stims again, he kind of has to back off already because all of his units are going to be so low in HP. And maybe that's how Nony felt that he could survive. But yeah, I don't know. It kind of feels like a little bit of an outdated Protoss style.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that there's really anything Nony could have done to have won that fight, but I feel like it would have gone better if he'd had Archons instead of a couple of feedbacks.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think the feedbacks do help out really a lot, though, because otherwise he's never going to be able to pick off both the Medevacts and the Vikings.
Yeah.
That's another point. But he didn't even have a lot of Stalkers. He had like 5 or 6 Stalkers.
Yeah, it was all Zealot Sentry, really.
Maybe he should have tried to force field like at his ramp instead of letting the Muslim go on the ramp
like
and then
force fields completely. Just don't let.
It's a lot easier to force field that ramp off than that entire area next to your natural.
That's a good point. That game was brought to you guys by Epson Projectors, the best and brightest projectors in the world. Check them out at epson.com/projectors for details. We're going to play a short commercial, and we'll be back with Game 2, Nony versus Muslim.